Hey, glad you're still here. I'm Rand Wise. And if you are enjoying my vibe, please like and subscribe. And here we go. Chapter 22. The only saving grace was that the kids had to be in New York for the taping of the movie. March 21st was the day the movie shoot began, and because they were in several scenes, they had to always be available. They collected all of their schoolwork after getting clearance from the school administrators. FOI was present to protect Deej, which helped the entire group. Sahir hired a tutor for his daughter, and Kim invited Wendy to accompany them. Therefore, they had plenty of parental supervision and some security. One of the security guys from FOI took them to a house out in Long Island, a home Farrakhan himself sometimes stayed whenever he visited New York. Mom, you sure your job is okay with this? Romy asked his mother. I'll be fine, son. I want to be there for your first movie. The place had 5 bedrooms and an in-law suite. The boys shared a room, Kim and her daughter shared a room, and Wendy went solo. Wendy and Kim were becoming good friends. They would be staying there for 4 weeks until the shooting of the film was complete. Sahir promised to join them once he was done traveling. Besides, traveling with Farrakhan, his secular job required him to travel. Amina, their other daughter, was staying with Kim's sister. The kids had so much fun going over their lines, eating and practicing. Romy was cast as the main character, whose name was Richard, and Deej was playing as his younger sister, and her character was named Jade. They had more lines and more responsibilities than the others. The casting team really loved Deej and Romy. Just about every single day, they had to be on set, no matter how small the scene was. By the second week, they were pretty exhausted and realized how much work went into acting, how much time was spent. Not only did they have to be on set, they had to set aside time to rehearse their lines and, most importantly, do their schoolwork and practice. Chapter 23. Back in D.C., Cassius kept his ear to the concrete while the kids were in New York. He was relieved knowing they were safe for the next few weeks. He headed into the social queue, ordered a drink and took a sip. Smoke and Woody entered the club portion from the back room. They spotted him talking to a young lady who had taken the stool next to him.
So what you drinking, sweetheart?
He asked the woman. Well, it depends on what you're willing to buy.
Well, whatever you drinking, I offered.
He ordered her a drink, and that's when the pair approached him.
Hey, Kane, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up, Smoke? What it do?
Yeah, you know me.
The woman who was sitting there seemed to no longer be interested in conversing with Cassius once the other men approached. When she got up and left, Smoke took her seat while Woody remained standing.
I know. Things have been slow, huh?
Slow? What do you mean?
You know, wintertime, kids ain't performing. Next show doesn't start till late April.
Yeah, the spring tournament. Yeah, Street Spin Syndicate was making me a lot of money.
Cassius had placed a few bets on them, not only for the tournament, but for other shows the kids competed in.
Now, you want to make some bank while things are slow?
What you got?
He would not in a million decades have guessed what would come out of Smoke's mouth next. If he had, he would have had a recording device on him.
You know, some snitch reported I was behind Donut's death, but I swear I had nothing to do with it.
Who was the snitch?
Cassius asked, and how would a person snitch unless you're guilty? He thought.
I don't know yet, but I've been staying out of Berry Farms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. So, what does any of this have to do with me?
I need you to look out. If you see that kid roaming, hit me up. Nobody would get suspicious if they see you cruising the farm.
Cassius stared at him. Smoke sensed some reluctance, and then he added,
Look here. I can pay you more money than them kids could ever put in your pocket. Trust me on that.
So, what's the startup fee? I need money for gas, food, and all that while I'm staking out.
Smoke peeled off a few $100 bills and shoved them into Cassius' hand. Cassius looked at the money and looked directly at Smoke.
You really want this kid that bad, don't you?
Smoke leaned closer to his ear and said,
Just hit me up when you see him.
He slammed a pager next to his drink on the bar and added,
333 is the code.
Then he and Woody disappeared. Cassius stared behind them once they were gone. He figured Smoke must have thought he was so desperate to make money that he would set some kid up to be murdered or hurt. That was a line he would never cross, and he had no intentions of keeping that money or that pager. Once he got to a phone, he called New York. Romy had given him the number of the place where they were staying.
Hey, Wendy, are the kids there?
No, they not here, Cassius. Kim took them to the set. What's going on?
Okay, do not return home when you get back to D.C.
Oh, why not? Wait a minute. What's going on, Cassius?
Smoke asked me to contact him if I spotted your son.
He could hear the fear in her voice through the phone. Oh, no. No, I can't lose my other son.
I know. Listen to what I'm saying. I'll do what I can to protect y'all, but you gotta trust me, Wendy. But in the meantime, you're gonna be okay in New York. You got security, which is good. I got another plan for Smoke, okay?
That seemed to have allayed her fears somewhat. So far, he had been protecting them. He had not let them down. So, what are you gonna do, Cassius?
Well, I can't tell you that part of it yet until I top some other things. But what I will say is that I'll be staking out Berry Farms as if I am looking for the kids. I know he gonna have somebody watching me, so I'll play along. But believe me, he ain't getting away with this.
She closed her eyes momentarily and said, Thank you so much, Cassius. You just don't know.
I'm always gonna be there, and you're welcome, but y'all stay safe.
Chapter 24. Wendy felt obligated to tell Kim about what Cassius had shared with her. The children were at the studio shooting. Security was with them. You know, Wendy, things have changed now. Now that they've entered the movie business, their lives will never be the same again anyway. So moving forward, we need to do things differently. Yeah, but I cannot help but to think about how this would impact their schooling. You know, I can't afford a tutor for my son. I'll talk to my husband. Kim said she wanted all of the children protected, and nobody messed with the Nation of Islam, not even in prison. Everyone had mad respect for that organization. The next day, when Sahir flew into New York, Kim had a talk with him in the bedroom privately.
I can talk to the brothers from the Nation for added security. As it stands, they will be picking up Khadija and dropping her off to and from school.
Sahir told his wife. Farrakhan had told Sahir that there was too much criminal activity in D.C. and something needed to be done about it because they never can rely on law enforcement to keep the black youth safe in that area. Only their community was responsible for keeping the children safe. When Deej discovered her father was there, she hugged him. Daddy!
Hey, Deej, how is my little superstar? Are you keeping up with your studies?
Yes, Daddy, I am. In fact, she was tutoring the boys whenever it was study time. Kim and Wendy made sure they put in time for their studies.
You just be sure to keep up with your schoolwork, young lady.
He brought gifts for his wife and child. Amina, their other daughter, was still staying with her aunt, who took her to and from school. The next day, the father traveled with the kids to the set, where he would be able to see his daughter in action. So, Mr. Saeed, can I ask you a question? How did you end up being with the Nation of Islam? Supreme asked when they were on their way to the set.
I grew up in North Sudan as a Muslim. When I came to the U.S. in 1950, when I was still in my teens, I met Malcolm X.
Oh, word! Whoa,
Man, word! So you knew Malcolm X? Yes. I believed in the teachings. They were focused on the progression of black people, especially black men, protecting our community.
Oh, so you are black?
Yes, I am black. I am from Africa, and Sudan is in Africa.
Because Sayer was light-skinned with silky hair, it made him racially ambiguous. They thought Deej's father was cool, though. He was a serious man, but did not mind talking to them. He had even asked them what their plans were after graduating high school. The only boy whose father was still in the home was Tux. Chapter 25. Cassius knew time was running short. The group had only a week before they would be back in the area. He headed over to Berry Farms, combed the area as if he was staking out. He knew he was being watched. This was Smoke's way of seeing if he could trust him. He knew men like Smoke. After leaving Berry Farms, he headed over to the social queue to report to Smoke.
Nothing so far, man.
Well, I heard the parents are around, except Lomi's mother. Wonder why that is.
It's like you said earlier, Smoke. Somebody tipped them off and they broke camp. Woody piped in.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I just know they not there.
Cassius said he remained cool, and no matter what they said, he would not be rattled.
What about the girl?
The girl? What girl?
The girl, the one they performed with.
Oh, her. I ain't never seen her in the farms, man.
Okay, check this out. That is not what I asked you. What I'm saying is...
Your order was for me to stake out Berry Farms. You did not tell me to surveillance the whole daggone city. Then again, that would cost you way more than less than a square mile would.
I tell you what, I'll let you get away with that one. But you wouldn't lie to me, would you?
I'm a grown man, Smoke. I don't have to lie to nobody.
With that, Cassius left the club. Once he was gone, Woody said, "Yo, Smoke, I need to keep an eye on him."
And you can only know if you travel that same road. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more could I ask for? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more could I ask for? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Que más, que más, que más, que más. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Chapter 26. It was a bittersweet moment returning to D.C. Security followed Kim's van and dropped them off at their house. Cassius met FOI at a location in Montgomery County, Maryland, to get the boys and Wendy to take them to a place he had rented out for them to lay low. "I'm still nervous about them going to school, Cassius," Wendy said. By this time, the other boys' parents knew they were being protected. They were welcome to come over to the place where Cassius had set up for them, a 3-bedroom apartment. He had set up a phone in the place so that the parents could call them anytime they wanted.
Cassius, why don't we just go to the police?
Tuck's father asked him.
Listen, we have talked to the police, but it's more complicated than that, Charles.
Do you know how this makes me feel, not being able to protect my own family?
We are all in this together. I remember you posting up for me back in the day, Charles. I'll never forget that.
Charles was a Vietnam vet, and when he returned home, he looked out for Cassius and his friends when they did not have any food and kept them away from the washed out pimps from the 1970s. Now it was Cassius' turn to look out.
You made a retroactive payment when you did what you did for my family.
Cassius and Charles hugged, and the parents left the apartment.
So there's plenty to eat in the cabinets and in the fridge. Y'all make yourselves comfortable.
Yo, Cash.
Yeah, Romy. What's up, little bro?
You don't think we should perform at Club U tomorrow for ICE, do you? Several performers would be there, including Echo, EU, and the Junkyard Band. Cassius joined Romy at the table and explained.
Listen, young man. If your parents are okay with y'all performing, it's not for me to even insert my opinion. But I tell you this. You cannot stop living your life on account of what someone might do. Security will be there for y'all, and the venue has security. So I think you might be in pretty good shape.
But you not riding with us, though.
I know, but FOI, they pretty good. They don't need me. Besides, Smoke is trusting me right now. At least right now, anyway. So I need to be out in the audience like everybody else. They're paying for your group. A nice piece of change for performing, okay?
Because they were performing for several go-go artists, they were getting paid from all of them. The night would be long, however. The team pulled up. 4 FOI security officers were with them. They escorted them into the venue from the rear. The go-go bands were present, where DC's finest, only Chuck Brown, the godfather of go-go, was not there. The first go-go band, ICE, entered the stage.
Let me see you swing. Let me see you move. Let me see you groove. Alright now. Don't let it get too much now, okay? Let me hear DC. Shout. Come on, DC. Don't let it get too much now. Cause it's a go-go groove. It's a go-go move. It's a go-go groove. Cause it's a go-go move.
Then Echo and Spinner entered the stage. Step with the crowd. Shout it out loud. Dip, throw your hip into it. It ain't nothing to it but to do it. Back against the wall. Not you. Ever being on too high. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. to it, twist it. Too hot, bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Bring it down to the ground, too cold. Turn it up, burn it up, too hot. Then Echo introduced Street Spin Syndicate, and they entered the stage, and the crowd went wild, and they performed well. Cassius was in the audience, keeping an eye on Smoke and his boy.
I'm walking the bull, go, go, go. Out for the. I'm walking the bull, go, go, go. Out for the. I'm walking the bull, go, go, go. Out for the. I'm walking the bull, go, go, go. Out for the. I'm walking the bull, go, go, go. Out for the. I'm walking the bull, go, go, go. Out for the.
The crowd was so loud that Cassius almost did not hear the gunshot that rang out in the audience. Suddenly, the audience began running and screaming. Cassius stood against the wall. The worst thing he could do was run into the crowd. His eyes scanned the room, and he could no longer see Smoke and Woody. Then he looked up on stage, and there were several people surrounding someone lying on the stage, but he could not see who it was. Fear gripped him. FOI was able to get Deej and the others backstage and to the vehicle parked behind the venue. However, one of them remained on stage with Supreme, the one who had been shot. 911 was called, and the medics arrived and loaded the boy on a gurney. He had been hit in his right shoulder. He groaned with pain.
Don't worry, buddy. We're getting you some help, okay? We're getting you some help.
One of the medics said as cops swarmed the place, and they were looking for who the shooter was. Outside, Romy, Deej, and Tuck were whisked away in the vehicle, driven by one of the FOI members.
What about Supreme? What about Supreme, man? Man, what about Supreme?
Romy knew his friend had been shot.
He's been taken to the hospital. I just got a radio trans from Alpha. He said he's being transported.
Jamal, one of the FOI members, said,
"We need to get over there, man. We need to make sure he alright."
"Yeah, we need to make sure he's okay," Tuck said as Deja agreed.
"Listen, it's too dangerous,"
Jamal insisted.
"But how we gonna know if everything is okay if we don't go over there?" "Alpha will keep me informed. Right now, I'm taking you kids somewhere safe."
But they wanted to see their friend. They needed to know if he was okay. Chapter 27. Later that night, 1 a.m. Cassius came in, nodded at Brick as he passed the bar and headed to the back room. Smoke seemed to be in a pretty good mood as he and Woody drank and talked. No women were around, and that made Cassius a little suspicious.
Hey, Kane! What's up? Have a seat. What you drinking?
Well, nothing for me tonight.
Oh, come on, Kane. Cassius Kane ain't drinking nothing tonight.
Cassius sat down and decided to have a drink after all, because he needed to play along.
So, Kane, you missed the action tonight, boy,
Woody said. They did not know Cassius was at the Club U where the shooting happened. He was in disguise, and they never noticed him sitting in the corner, but he saw them. Instead, he asked,
"What action? Put me on." "One down, pow, 3 to go. We can at least disable them from being able to perform."
You don't know if they survived or not, Woody, so don't get too happy.
Well, I will finish him. In the meantime, we'll get the other three. Other three? What are you talking about, Woody? I'm talking about Street Spin Syndicate. By the time everybody look up, there will be no more Street Spin Syndicate. You know, I never did find out what it was you didn't like about this group, Smoke. They're just kids. Do they owe you some money or something?
They refused me, just like Donut refused me. He had the gut. If I had known his little punk brother would rebrand himself, I would have had him taken care of too.
So, how do you know Donut refused you? I mean, I don't get it. How did he refuse you?
Listen, I own Southeast DC. Soon I'll own the whole city. I'll bring the whole city under my dictatorship, just as I have Berry Farms, Garfield, Shipley Terrace, and Congress Heights.
That made Cassius more concerned. Deej lived in the Congress Heights area.
So, you just took him out.
Who else do you think did it?
Well, Woody, I was thinking Possum and his boys was behind all that.
Them sloppy niggas, they could never be that organized. Now, what I need you to do is help us bring them all down.
So how am I going to go about doing that, Smoke? And why would you want me to help you with that? You actually need my help?
Because you proved yourself. You passed the test when I had you stake out Berry Farm.
Okay. So what you need me to do?
It's obvious I won't be able to get that close to them with all that security. But you can. They trust you.
Is that what you think? Man, I just run numbers on competition.
And that's exactly why I think they might trust you. Just get close enough. I believe they already trust you. And I'll give you instructions on how to move about, but not right now.
Well, all right then.
Cassius stood, buttoned his jacket, and shook hands with Smoke.
The money you quoted looks all right to me. As long as the money is good, I'm in.
Before Cassius left the room, Smoke called him.
Hey,
Cassius turned to face him.
don't forget the rest of your payment for services rendered. Right there on the table.
Cassius collected the $1,000 and headed out of the back room and through the club.
Like that.
He headed towards M Street, around the corner, and down an alley. There was a blue van parked near the back of one of the buildings. As he drew closer, the door of the van opened. Two men grabbed him and shoved him into the van, closed the door, and peeled out.